The first piece of art that we're going to look at is the model boat, which was a work of art that I saw at the Palace of the Legion of Honor in San Francisco. This piece of art was originally found in the Naga Ed Deir Cemetery in Tomb 202 in Egypt. Unfortunately, the artist is unknown. This model boat is made out of wood and gesso. Gesso is a material that's similar to pitch, and it's used to fill in the large grain wood that it was carved out of, and it's used as a base before it is then painted. The dimensions of this are approximately 3 feet long by 1 foot tall. The time period that this boat was made during is around the first intermediate period of Egypt, which was about 2181 to 2040 BC. Boats like these had the purpose of being placed in the deceased's tomb, and they symbolized assurance of food, drink, and entertainment, as well as other luxuries in the afterworld. Since water travel was so important to Egyptians due to the Nile River, the Egyptians also believed it was critical in the afterlife as well. Next, while we look at a couple other examples of these works of art, I'm going to read some quotes about them from various places. The first one is from the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, and it's just a general statement about these, quote, models of a funerary boat. While late Old Kingdom tombs had included limestone statuettes of people engaged in chores such as food preparation, a new development occurred during the first intermediate period in Middle Kingdom. Now, models made of wood, a less costly material, were manufactured in large numbers and placed in the burial chamber to furnish provisions for the deceased in the afterlife. In symbolically providing for the tomb owner's needs, models functioned in much the same way as painted scenes of these activities did on the walls of tomb chapels. And the second quote is from an article from the British Library entitled Egyptian Warcraft Models from the Pre-Dynastic to Third Intermediate Periods. And it says, "The reliance of a society on watercraft is no more apparent than in ancient Egypt, where the Nile River provided the means for all but the most local transport. It is not surprising that ancient Egyptians would incorporate watercraft, an important object from their everyday lives, into their funerary furniture for use in the next world."
The Minoan Bull Leaper is a bronze sculpture from around 1600 to 1400 BC, depicting an ancient Minoan tradition of bull leaping. There are 3 basic styles of Minoan bull leaping, all 3 of which involve an acrobat leaping over a bull's head and pushing off the horns as the bull violently jerks its head upward, propelling the leaper over the bull entirely. Naturally, this sculpture chooses to depict the version that is 100% impossible, wherein the acrobat leaps in the same direction as the bull, meaning the leaper would have to initiate the leap backwards. Thus, most historians believe the sculpture is an artistic exaggeration. The figure stands at a little over 11 centimeters tall according to the British Museum website, and it was made using a process called the lost wax casting technique, by which a model made of bronze or some other material is cast from an identical model made from a softer material like clay. Perhaps the sculpture's most noticeable trait is the acrobat's missing limbs. While it's possible that this is intentional, it's more likely a result of the faulty casting process. The relatively low concentration of tin in the metal's composition would have made it difficult for the molten copper to flow and thoroughly fill the mold in which it was cast, hence the missing extremities. However, what the leaper lacks in limbs he makes up for in style. While the leaper's unusual position is physically implausible, an obvious comparison is being drawn between the movement of the leaper and the movement of the bull, creating natural harmony. Bull leaping seems to be a rather common subject in Minoan artwork, leading many historians to believe the bull was an animal of great religious and ritualistic importance to Minoan culture. The bull's disproportionately great size was initially believed to be a symbol of the bull's great power. However, archaeological studies have revealed an extinct species of bull from the area and the time period, suggesting that the bull depicted is not an exaggeration. The literal nature of Minoan bull leaping as an activity is a disputed topic among historians. Andrew Shepard explains in his article, Jumping to Conclusions, the mutual affordances of bulls and humans have resulted in similar interactions, or bull games, in different societies, but modern archaeologists have tended to downplay the relationship between bull and leaper, in Bronze Age Crete by regarding the bull leaping in purely symbolic terms. Nevertheless, those attempting to work out the physics of Minoan bull leaping still use the sculpture as a reference point.